All right, guys, how is everybody on this Monday? Welcome in to Rover Sports, and I'm going to talk about yesterday's game. A game in which I said the 49ers would defeat the Arizona Cardinals, and I was incorrect. Arizona Cardinals end up winning the game by about 4 points. Arizona San Francisco. So I'm gonna talk about just yesterday's game, and 24-20 is the final score, and a lot of 49ers fans coming out of the woodwork this morning and are pretty much panicking about the performance of the 49ers in this game against Arizona. This is honestly what I saw yesterday. I thought that the 49ers in the first half, their defense really controlled the game, man. To be completely transparent with you guys, I was really unable to watch like a majority of the game. I didn't get the 49ers game and local television. It was the Bucks and the Saints. So I went back and watched it in a condensed version. And the 49ers in the first half were really controlling the game. I think it might have been 7-3, and the defense was rocking, and Kyler really couldn't do anything. And I was expecting to go back and watch the game and expect Murray to just be hitting all these big plays through the air. But really, Kyler Murray didn't even hit that many big plays through the air. And the blocked punt completely changed the complexion of the football game, because it pretty much spotted Arizona. I think you got Chase Edmonds then on a real easy throw from Kyler Murray, about a 12-yard toss. It gave Arizona the lead. And the thing is about Kyler Murray and the defense, I thought the defense actually played fine for the majority of the game. Kyler Murray is a difficult matchup because he could get outside the pocket, but Kyler Murray throwing the ball wasn't even that productive. I mean, he even had an interception. He doesn't throw the ball down. He didn't throw the ball down the field at will. It was a lot of just screen passes. It was constant screen passes. And I guess you could say the Cardinals offense was decent at keeping the Niners offense off the field in the second half. But I didn't think Kyler Murray, I just don't know if, I didn't think Kyler Murray really dominated this football game. So I thought the defense was okay. The 3rd and 17 play might have been in the third quarter where Kyler Murray scrambled up the left side. That was a momentum-changing play along with the blocked punt. Those two plays resulted in Cardinal touchdowns. And 3rd and 17 after a holding penalty, you should be licking your chops and going to the sideline. And if you let up 3rd and 17s, just like in the Super Bowl game, you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose a lot of games by just letting teams off of the hook in that way. Even on the touchdown drive early in the game, it's 3rd and 8 from the Cardinals' 3-yard line. You let DeAndre Hopkins on the edge catch an 8-yard curl route. So these little things are the reason why the 49ers lost the game, because just the blocked punt was absolutely awful. When you have disasters like that, you're going to lose. Also, I do give credit to the Cardinals in stopping the running game, because the 49ers in the game, I mean, other than that Kendrick Bourne play, I'm just going to read to you how many yards they had on the ground. The 49ers, I mean, Raheem Mostert, 15 carries for 56 yards. Jerick McKinnon, 3 carries, 24 yards. The Cardinals really shut down the Niners' running game, and I don't think Ben Garland was in. The Niners might have been missing another guard yesterday. So Debo, Ayuk, and no running game. That really contributed yesterday. And then George Kittle was also banged up in the second quarter, and thankfully Kittle came back to the game and looks like he's going to be okay. I thought the Niners defense yesterday, I actually thought they played fine. I thought that There wasn't that many big plays. If the blocked punt never would have happened, it's taking advantage. When you get down to the red area, it's scoring. Garoppolo yesterday, I'm about the biggest Jimmy G fan that's probably on the internet. I mean, I've been saying that this guy has been legit. I mean, ever since he came to the 49ers and had that 5-0 in 2017. And yesterday I went back and watched Garoppolo's game, and this is just going to be the honest assessment of what the tape showed, is that Jimmy G at times, like there was a great example of Jimmy G in the pocket when he spun around twice, and he spun around twice for no reason and didn't need to spin around in the pocket. He had a clean pocket. Jimmy G is pretty immobile. I mean, when you look at the quarterbacks in the NFL, I'm not saying that this is a huge problem. It's just he needs protection from the guards. If he has guys in his face, the whole play is altered. Jimmy G can operate actually in a very small condensed pocket when there's pressure around the edges, but when it's right up in his face, the play is just about done. Where Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Mahomes, a lot of the new age quarterbacks can go out and can extend a play. Russell Wilson can break outside the pocket. Jimmy G doesn't extend from the pocket. And that's just not his game, but Jimmy G can still be really efficient in the pocket. It's just he has to have good protection from the interior of the offensive line. And missing Garland, it just really hurt. And if defensive lines are able to get in Garoppolo's face, he struggles. So Jimmy Garoppolo, he looked a little bit rusty yesterday. And the other thing about Jimmy G is that his confidence, people will say the ACL tear, there's just not that many downfield dig routes for Jimmy Garoppolo. He's playing afraid to make mistakes. He's not airing the ball out deep. He was late on a ball to Kendrick Bourne. He's not showing velocity throwing the deep ball. He's just not hitting it. He's relying a lot on George Kittle underneath, which is fine, the running backs. When his first look isn't there and it's a 4 and guys are rushing 3 or 4, Garoppolo is not waiting in the pocket. He's not trusting his offensive line. He's not letting his receivers come open, and he's not waiting in the pocket. And you look at Tom Brady, you look at other pocket passers, you got to stand strong. When they're going to drop guys in coverage, you got to sometimes stay in the pocket and let plays develop if you're going to be really elite. But his eternal clock is really sped up on a lot of plays. So he's not hitting the deep ball, and then from the pocket, his pocket presence, and I guess you could say that he didn't have preseason, but at the same time, these guys like only play a couple of series in preseason. So just Jimmy G in the pocket, he needs to just be more patient in the pocket. And when he played in that Chicago game, he was hanging in there and he was getting absolutely nailed at the last second and making heroic throws. And sometimes as a quarterback, you got to sit in there and make heroic throws and wait till the last second for your guys to get open. So that's another thing. But when the running game isn't working, the defense can sag back. When their defensive line is winning the game up front, play action is the best way to attack. Also, you have really no deep threats. I mean, now with Debo, with Ayuk out, Emmanuel Sanders on another team, the wide receivers, when Kendrick Bourne is your number one, you're not going to have many deep field, down the field options. But I do want to see Garoppolo, when the 49ers get to the 45-yard line, I want to see Jimmy G throw a 40-yard deep ball. I know that his arm strength isn't the best in terms of throwing a deep ball. The strength of his game is picking you apart in the intermediate game, which is why I still think Garoppolo is a really, really good quarterback. Garoppolo is clearly capable of winning a Super Bowl and doing everything that the 49ers ask of him. He's even capable of being a Hall of Famer and winning multiple championships with this defense. If the Niners would have won a Super Bowl last year, you would look at Garoppolo on the fast track to being maybe in the Hall of Fame, because he's a quarterback that is winning Super Bowls, winning championships, really efficient. And this week against the Jets, I do think it is advantageous for Kyle, especially if the 49ers are up. I think you got to let Jimmy G loose and stop saying for Jimmy G to not lose you the game. Because last year when when they ran the ball 8 times against the Vikings, this narrative set in that Jimmy G, is a weak point on this team and that he can lose the 49ers the game and that the defense is so spectacular. And that is not a healthy recipe for a quarterback to actually get good in the NFL. You look at Mark Sanchez, there's other quarterbacks where that method has failed, where they protect the ball, they're really game manager-like, and then they don't grow any confidence. So I think Jimmy G was all right. The throw to Juszczyk down the field was nice. He's a little bit rusty. There's no fans there, so it's a huge disadvantage for the 49ers because the Niners, again, had a dream season last year. They worked their asses off, and they really, I think that I could say that they almost deserve to be world champions, or you can argue that they did deserve to be world champions and that the Tyreek Hill play was just a magical play by an unbelievable quarterback. And there's certain plays in the Super Bowl, like if the pass interference play is allowed, the Niners would have won a championship. And so the regular season, it is hard to be motivated. Human nature is that you want to get to the playoffs and you want to duke it out and deal in the playoffs. You look at the Legion of Boom, they weren't really able to keep that same consistency. It's what makes New England like the most special dynasty and team, because in the regular season, they still take care of business. They still play with the same veracity and intensity. It's what makes Saban. It's what makes greatness is consistency over time, especially in regular season games. So a little bit unmotivated, and when there's no crowd there, I mean, guys like Kittle, the defense, it is a disadvantage. I do give Murray I do give him props in that he managed the game and made plays when he needed to make them in order to win. And the Niners defense is still great. The pass rush was still getting after Murray, and he did make plays with his legs, and the guy is a weapon. So I don't know how good Kyler will be as a passer, though, because people are going to look at the stat sheet, and a lot of people didn't watch this game because it was the Bucs and the Saints on the national feed. So a lot of people are just going to assume that Murray absolutely dealed the entire game and had the Niners defense at will. He really did not. And the best throws Kyler had to make was when he had to use all of his arm strength to throw a 20-yard out pattern to DeAndre Hopkins. And it's not like Hopkins was just bullying guys. It was all screen passes. It was 5-yard hitches, 7-yard gains. And the Cardinals' offense wasn't even that explosive in terms of big chunk plays. But you got to give them credit for keeping the rock and for still winning the game. For Garoppolo and for this Niners team, I thought the Niners, again, the punt block, the 3rd and 17, not converting in the red zone against a team where the defensive line of the Cardinals is better than I anticipated, and where Kyler Murray played his best game. That's gonna get you beat when you get a punt blocked in the second quarter, and when Tevin Coleman is just about out of the game. You have no power running game either. By the way, between the tackles, there's nothing. So the line of scrimmage up front in terms of the interior line completely lost that battle of that game. And Jimmy G, here's the thing, there's a lot of Niners fans that are clamoring for new quarterbacks, saying that other quarterbacks can do better in this system. Jimmy Garoppolo just took you to a Super Bowl championship. I mean, eventually you just have to look at your team and say, this is a wonderful team. This is a team that it's kind of 1 week, and the Niners are going to get back. And you look at the schedule, and the Cardinals, I think that they're an all right football team, but I still have a little bit of concerns about Murray, and I'm not even sure. I don't think the Cardinals are a better team than the Niners. It was a blocked punt. The Niners weren't at full strength. 3rd and 17 plays, just ridiculously the Cardinals played a ridiculously clean game, and the Niners played like played like a C- D+ performance yesterday in front of no fans, and the Cardinals could barely get away with a win when Jimmy G didn't play that well. And that is just the facts. I think the 49ers are the better team. And it's not like an Eagles situation where I think there's glaring holes, or a Lions where some teams really needed to win yesterday, like the Colts to get off to a good start. It's just one of those games that got away from you. And I do think the Niners were the better team, and they really controlled the first half. And that pump block rewarded them a touchdown. It can't be overstated how big of a play that is in the game. And the 3rd and 17 play, or 3rd and 8 from your goal line, not getting off the field. You can look at the Niners defense, you can look at points allowed, and you could look at yards. But when you can't get off the field on 3rd down, people say bend not break. It's about getting off the field on 3rd down. It's cashing the check. You're at the bank, you got to cash the check. And for Jimmy Garoppolo, I will do a film review on Jimmy. A lot of people want a mobile quarterback. They want a Lamar. They want a Josh Allen. It's a different style game. Every guy is going to be different. And measuring quarterbacks in this day and age is very difficult because people play in different styles. I still think Jimmy G... I still think he is better now than Carson Wentz because he really doesn't. He doesn't give away games. And when Jimmy G is rocking and when he's consistent, he's gonna put you in great positions to win games all the time. He's gonna take care of the ball and he's gonna get you points. And he's the conductor, and he's going to just make simple plays and make good plays. And he gets the ball out of his hands quickly. He doesn't take a lot of sacks. He doesn't require a lot to throw away the ball. Hit Raheem Mostert on that one play. Still was fairly efficient, especially in the first half. Defense gets Jimmy the ball back, and I want to see Jimmy go up to New York. And the thing about Jimmy, he's not going to have the biggest arm, and he's not the most mobile guy. But Jimmy G could be one of the most efficient quarterbacks in the NFL. Could still play at the highest of levels. I've watched it a couple of years ago. He is a little bit afraid to get hit. The spinorama twice, that is a microcosm for how Jimmy feels right now. He's a little bit out of rhythm. You got to continue to let Jimmy throw. If you're up big on the Jets, you got to let Jimmy G get in these reps. You got to let him throw and be a guiding force of this team. And also the fan base and how people talk about Jimmy G, it's human nature again. I know I'm using that phrase, but it's human nature to think that you're the problem. When Jimmy G needs to be looked at as, help us. You need to be elite. You need to be one of our guys that steps up. Not instead of don't mess it up, how about Jimmy G thrives? Because in 2017, when he got to the 49ers, it was Jimmy G putting the team on his back. And when a quarterback is needed and puts the team on his back, he's looked at in this incredible light, and it also gives you this incredible freedom, kind of like what you're seeing with Russell Wilson. The mindset of a guy is so important. So the deep balls, they need to be attempted more. The offense needs to be opened up. Instead of just having George Kittle, you need to get these receivers heading deep, and Jimmy needs to maybe throw some 50-50 balls, some back shoulders. He needs to start taking some risks throwing the ball down the field. He does. If it gets intercepted, it does from time to time. But you're going to end up hitting some big-time plays. So, again, when you cross into the opponent's territory, I want a quick score there. I want some momentum. I want some deep balls from Jimmy Garoppolo. I think he is capable of it. When the running game gets going, you got to get Tevin Coleman. You need power football to win in this league. So when the running game gets going inside the trenches, play action, Jimmy G over the top to hopefully you get Brandon Ayuk coming into the fold. He can make a big play. Rookies are allowed to make big plays. So that's kind of how I view this game. I don't think the sky is falling. I thought that the 49ers were unbelievably they just made losing plays, and you got to give the Cardinals credit for making winning plays. The special teams was huge. Fitzgerald getting that spike. It came down to little things yesterday, and the teams were a lot more. They were even more evenly matched than I made it out to be. And in a game with a very crafty quarterback, which is what Kyler is, you just got to take care of those things in order to win. The 49ers at every turn didn't make plays. The Cardinals made the 3rd and 17s, like the crucial plays in a game you can point to. There's a lot of there's critical moments in games that you can seize the game, that you can take care of things. The Niners did not do that yesterday. It's why they got beat in this game. So I'm going to give a Garoppolo film review. He is not the most mobile quarterback, but again, sky is not falling. Continue to believe in Jimmy G. And for people who want to get rid of Jimmy G, there is no options that are out there that are better. You could say Nick Mullins, C.J. Beathard. It's ludicrous. This is a guy who took you to a championship. This is a guy that is a top 15 quarterback, who is a top 10 quarterback in the NFL at times. He's going to be a top 12 quarterback. It's one game. Jimmy G, I watch Jimmy G play every single week, and Jimmy G, I mean, for as rusty as he looked, he still put the 49ers in position to win the game. It's only a 6th loss all-time of his career. And the Niners defense, everybody just makes it seem like the Niners defense, unbelievable. How could you lose with that defense? You could put a backup quarterback, any backup from any team, and you can win. It's not the case. And that narrative is hurting Garoppolo and his public perception, and there's real biases out there in the media all the time. And they don't like the 49ers, and what you don't want as a franchise, you don't want chaos, especially when you just got to a Super Bowl championship. Good organizations don't panic. They don't make rash decisions. So for people acting like, there's something better out there than Jimmy Garoppolo, you're crazy, okay? And you just got to a Super Bowl championship. And come on. I mean, this is a dominant franchise. It's going to be probably a division winner, if not the Rams. I think the 49ers could still do it. It's a gauntlet, but I think they could still win the division. And once the defense gets revved up into the playoffs, I think the 49ers could still win the division. So there you go. There you go, guys. Okay, Jets game coming up. Relax. I was wrong too. There it is. 49ers reaction episode.